Hello everyone, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about one of the reasons I got a Vita. That would be a few different things here. That would be this particular game. Now, just to note, this is an actual physical English release. It is the Asian version. There are two Asian versions. One is English and one is not. So, just to keep that in mind. But this is the only physical copies that are in English of this. But anyway, Tainted Blood, because I have no idea how to say the name they gave it in America, or its promptly known title as Over My Dead Body 2 in Japan, is a sequel to what was ported to the PSP and was originally on the PS1 in Japan. It actually is surprising that we got this on PSN, and it is $19.99, so it is nicely priced. But it is a shame that they did not give us physical copies. That really, really makes me sad. And what's also shocking, it has a thing for a DLC thing, so I won't show that. But it does have a small little page of instructions too. And man, they hop on the share feature in this game a lot. They really, really want you to share images in the game. So I was actually kind of surprised to see none of the American games, aside from an ad for the Ultimate Spell. It's anime at least. What? Don't blame me. I blame my beard. But yeah, you don't really see any papers or anything a lot of times in beer cases in the Western world, so that's really surprising. But anyway, a lot of people know I did a little demo wheel of Over My Dead Body, and I played a pretty nice chunk of it, like not shitloads of it. I've killed about 5 bosses in the game, 4 or 5 of them. So I actually played a little good amount in all the areas that were available in the game. I don't know if more unlocked. It doesn't appear to be, but then again, like I say, I haven't finished it. That it's a pure Japanese game. It cut me a break. I had to learn everything on my own. But of course, now that you have one in English, I can actually take some of that and translate it back, because what's really funny is the game actually has a lot of similarities. And of course, you know, being a sequel, but I mean a lot of similarities. If my biggest gripe with the game is that it really feels like it didn't involve any, is probably really my biggest gripe. Like on the world map, encountering enemies is exactly the same. You just run into them from behind or be touched by them. There's no like swinging or any mindset into it or anything. I mean, combat is exactly the same. You have the wheel thing for the different items you can earn as prizes. The leader being killed in either side ends combat. I mean, those... It don't feel like there's really much different, to be honest, and that has its goods and bads. I mean, the good is you're not gonna piss anyone off like Final Fantasy 13 did by changing it a lot, but you also have the horrible effect of making it feel kind of stale because you didn't add a lot into the game. Now, you do have to keep in mind that everything in Over My Dead Body 1, like I said, I played figuring out by myself, because I could not find any actual English or even Japanese sources to get badly translated Google translations of to help me with this game, really, because this is not a lot of stuff on this game for the English speaking audience. So I can only compare towards what I figured out and understood. So keep in mind, if a mechanic does exist in it that I'm not aware of, it's not necessarily that I'm saying... yeah, I think you get what I mean. I can only compare what I actually know is in it. Now, so they're all new things, but they're more like cosmetic effects, really, than actual gameplay elements, because like it makes use of the Vita camera where you can take a picture of yourself, take a picture of other people. You can share AQ codes to get people's characters to be compatible with yours. Because this time you can breed with gods, spirits, and that like normal, like in the last game. But you can also do other cursed people. Oh yeah. So everyone else's families are on the table for evolution. Somebody play some of that music from Sage's video. You know that one theme. No, damn. But but I mean, see, those aren't really affecting your general gameplay that much. Those are just little added things. And also, I think there's this one where you can like do a picture with you and someone else. So that's probably like one of those things you would see in some old PS1 games or stuff. I remember there was a PS1 game where like you had one person holds one side of the controller, another person holds the other one, stuff like that. But and I mean, those are nice little bells and whistles, but they don't generally affect the gameplay, in tremendous amounts. It's just cosmetic effects of trying to make characters that look like you and stuff. Or, breeding with friends or random people on the internet since you can share AQ codes. But you can. There is a little more evolution to the map. You can actually go to other countries. To my understanding, you don't always start in the same country, so you actually can bounce around a bit. And another thing I noticed that's different in the dungeons themselves, one of the few things I noticed that are really different, are you will find locked gates, and there is a bit of randomization. Like in the first game, I don't remember a lot of it being random. It was very same as far as I could tell, but there are actual random areas that change even if you went a similar path. But there are also same locations here and there, so I haven't really found a way to know where the hell you're going quite yet in the game. But there are lock gates you come across, and this seems to be how the game controls your progression. Because there are different code keys, and they can be in the dungeon you're in or in a completely different dungeon. And this really seems to be how the game encourages you to explore the different dungeons instead of focusing on one dungeon. Which, as far as I could tell in the first game, there's nothing that stops you from going headfirst into as deep as you can in the dungeon until you die. If you can live, you can keep going. So it seems like they really wanted to get you to explore more instead of do that. But it doesn't feel like there's a lot of travel in the game, even though there is a little bit. Story-wise. Now, if you're not familiar with the first story of the first game had to do with two people who basically hunted demons that were levels, and basically their child got kidnapped, they both get killed, and they basically made a deal to sacrifice their souls or something like that. I don't know the 100% context, because again, it's in Japanese, and I don't know of any subtitle versions. But, they obviously made some kind of deal, because the demon, either whether he did it for playful reasons or because he was bound to a contract of some kind, he let the child live that he stole from them. However, he cursed the child to only be able to live 2 years, and it wouldn't be able to bear children under normal circumstances, meaning it wouldn't really be able to come back for revenge that easily. However, it seems people looked down on him as you get to marry Aid, who decides to help you in your course to events. So basically, you start families with spirit gods and that of Japanese culture and have spiritual babies. So you're not having normal babies, you're having weird spirit crossbreed children with that, but they all suffer the course of living 2 years, and not being able to bleed normally. So basically, they just, you keep having them die. They go from baby to like maybe 18-year old, like very fast within 2 years, and then die. Or if they get killed in the battlefield, they die permanently. So you're gonna have a lot of people die, and that's how the first game worked. Second game, aside from the origins of what's going on, is the exact same concept. What happens in the second game is that apparently something happened to these special instruments that were used for festivals. Your family got blamed for it. You got like killed, sacrificed, and supposedly that was to appease the gods or something. And then you get told that you were kind of pin the tail on the donkey style. So you get a second chance and your family gets resurrected in kind of a rebirth kind of thing, it seems. But what's really odd is you're dead, right? But all of your family members are cursed by the 2-year course. A little odd, is it not? So it seems like there was going to be a more interesting plot. Now, not to say the first game doesn't have an interesting plot. I mean, again, I can't understand it being in Japanese. But it looks like, from the setup, it looked like they wanted to go with kind of a governmental thing. Because the guy who arranged the sacrifice also appears to be one of the primary villains, if not the primary villain. So it seems like there's kind of a governmental corruption kind of thing going on here. But, you start going down dungeons and looking for the instruments. Now, I got the first instrument in the game, and basically what happens is a certain time period in the year is set to have a demon festival in one of the areas, and you'll go there and find a special location where you participate in their festival to get one of the instruments back. Now, every time you get an instrument, apparently it increases the difficulty of all the dungeons. And this again seems to be again with the keys, because remember, the keys can be in different dungeons. You could have a key from location A be in location B. So obviously scaling the difficulty of the mobs up would make sense, because what would be the point of hiding a key in other areas if they're starting to lag behind in difficulty, and you could just be all like, why the fuck can't this be like Earthbound at this point? All this shit's just trash. So that seems to be the point there. So things keep getting difficult with each instrument you find. And I believe there were 5 or 6 instruments. And I don't necessarily know if that's the end. Now, it's hard to really talk about this game without the controversy that happened in Japan. Yes, I know in the Western world we don't usually hear about the controversies that happen in Japan over games at times, but they happen, and they do happen horribly at times. So the big controversy that happened in this game, and it really actually affected its Japanese Amazon page, was the character who resurrects your family. I mean, this is all in the opening, so this ain't like some massive spoiler. I mean, it's, you're going to experience it in the first 5 minutes, but just throwing it out there. But she sacrifices her whole life to bring your family back, but she can also resurrect herself or something like that. And she comes back to life at some point in the game. She hasn't yet. But the controversy that happened in Japan was that she joins your party. She's not part of your family, and she joins your party, and there's apparently moments where you actually require her, because only she can destroy certain things, apparently later in the game. And this greatly upset a lot of people, because apparently the story revolves more around her than your family, which of course was the concept of the first game, and led to believe to be this concept of the second game. So a lot of people apparently were really upset that focused a lot on this character that ain't a part of your family or anything. Now, whether that's a big deal or not varies, We didn't get to play the first game, so it's probably not going to really matter too much to the Western world as much. But again, I can also see the same kind of criticism come up with some people. I haven't gotten there yet. I don't think it's going to really bother me too much, but I can also see the complaint there. But the gameplay plays a lot like the first one, and the gameplay as a lot of my viewers would know, would be where I focus a lot more in whale on the story, unless it doesn't have a lot of gameplay, and then, the story is the main attraction. But I'm enjoying it so far. The graphics are a nice boost up. They keep a lot of the nice paintbrush look that the PSP remake got. Because if you look at the original PlayStation 1 release, it did not have that. Like, it had the same sprites in that, but they reworked it with a much more colorful paintbrush look. So it retains the look like that into the sequel here, and now, while your family members and the environments in there have been thrown into 3D, the enemies are displayed in combat in kind of a 2D panel kind of look thing. So you kind of have a weird kind of Paper Mario mashup thing kind of going on here. But it goes well because, it's not all cutesy and that. They're on different demons and that. Spirits of Japan, So, of course, the big question is, would I recommend this game? If you don't mind it being digital, it's only $19.99. That's not a really bad price for a really long RPG, supposedly. Because if it's going to be anything like the first game, you have to train your kids and have new kids and things. Because, if you use the same spirits in that over and over again, like the elemental effects in that, and they get stat boosts to newer children, so it's a grindy effect, basically. But I'd say probably not a bad price for what should be a pretty lengthy game experience. Of course, this being first impressions, it's not a full-out review or anything yet. But hopefully, in some point in time, we can get there. But if you want a physical copy like I do, you're going to have to bust your ass to look for this thing, because it's sold out in a lot of places, and that really sucks for a lot of people who wanted this. Because when I first heard about this, I stocked it every single day on PlayAsia until it became available and bought it. I've been checking randomly every maybe 2 days on PlayAsia because I wanted to alert anyone on my Twitter followers and such that, there are more copies. Better go get them now before they're all gone. But there hasn't been any more reprints, or at least not any restocked on PlayAsia's side. And a bunch of fucking scalpel motherfuckers, fuck you scalpels, fuck you. I can understand wanting to get a few extra dollars, but there's a difference between, extra $10 and fucking $200, you fucking assholes. But scalpels, this on PlayAsia was $29. $29, and I know that's really odd because PlayAsia usually has really high prices because, importing, shipping, and all that stuff, so. But $29. People are doing $100+ fucking dollars on this version on eBay. Fucking assholes. Now, there are some other sites apparently that also had this, so you can check them too, and I will try to inform people if it becomes stocked again. But I do like having a physical copy of this. It's very nice. I'm very glad I was able to pick this up because it would bother me forever to have not gotten this. I was originally going to get the Japanese version when I found out they were going to give us just PSN. I was going to wait a while and see maybe if Sony changed their mind, but it really disappointed me in that regard. But at least somewhere there's an English version out there waiting with your name on it if you want one. You just might have to work a little harder to get it. But I definitely recommend it. It's a lot like the first game, and it's in English if you can get this or the download version. But it's also available in Europe on PSN only as well for my European viewers. So, sadly, we all got screwed on the physical train. So, if you're looking for one, good luck to thee. Either way, I really enjoy these games. And maybe Gaijin Walks will bring this fucking thing over for us in English. Please, come on. I like classic heroes like anyone else, but come on. Those people who want this, I'd pay money again. Damn it, Victor. Anywho, if you got any other questions about either of these two games, but primarily about this one, feel free to ask, and I will hopefully get to you with an answer if I can. And if not, then I'll just say hello. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you check out this game, because there needs to be more. I like generational concepts. I don't know why a lot more RPGs don't do it. It's just a really nice idea. Until next time, may the good blood be with you, and praise the sun.